In an ominous sign for our coming financial crisis, Switzerland is considering locking people into failing banks using capital controls that would stop depositors from withdrawing their money. I talked about this in a previous video, so-called friction tech, that would lock depositors into dying banks, forcing them to go down with the ship so no banker is left behind. The Fed has also been pushing such controls in a series of papers ever since Silicon Valley Bank went down back in March. So specifically, Switzerland's considering limiting withdrawals to 50,000 Swiss francs per year. Franc is about $1. Larger withdrawals would be subject to a 3-month notice period, so you'd have to wait 3 months to actually take your money out, with penalties for violations. Why are they doing this? Because the speed and scale of bank runs this crisis have been unprecedented. Even as recently as 2008, bank runs took weeks, which gave regulators plenty of time to bail them out or line up sweetheart rescue deals. Those runs now take days or even hours. That's not just in the US, where Silicon Valley Bank went down effectively in a matter of hours, but in Switzerland, where they took out the country's second biggest bank, Credit Suisse, back in March. That failure cost Swiss taxpayers $185 billion, which is equivalent to $7 trillion in US population terms. This is a problem for Switzerland since they resolved Credit Suisse by handing it to their biggest bank, UBS. That put UBS at stratospheric levels of too big to fail. So Switzerland pretty much put all of its financial eggs in the UBS basket. To illustrate, UBS has roughly 1/3 of bank deposits in Switzerland, but it counts around 80% of the 300 banks domiciled in Switzerland as clients, along with 75% of the 100 largest pension funds. Total UBS assets are about 448% of Swiss GDP, which is equivalent to roughly $100 trillion in US terms. So it's not just too big to fail, it is too big to bail out, meaning depositors will have to do the bailout next time. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained. What's next is expect even more friction tech, even in the US, as central bankers circle the wagons to protect the insolvent fractional reserve system they have built. If our financial system had responsible custodians, then instead of locking in depositors, they would actually fix the banks. Say, require them to actually back demand deposits with cash in the vault, as depositors naively imagine banks already do, instead of backing them with nothing beyond taxpayer bailouts. It's worth noting that another solution would be to have no custodians at all, meaning no bailouts at all, in which case banks would have to get solvent fast, just like any other company would. Sadly, we do have custodians, and not the good kind. So they will sacrifice depositors to protect the banking cartel that, after all, finances government deficits, allowing governments to progressively take over the economy and arbitrarily seize the people's wealth, all fortified by white shoe lobbyists and gold-plated Rolodexes that give banks control over Congress that voters could only dream of. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.